the biggest criticisms I get with bodyweight training is that it's great for compound movements, but you can't use it to isolate particular muscle groups. And I don't agree with this concept at all. In fact, some of the best single joint exercises you can do aren't on a machine or free weights, but they're actually body weight based or done on things like gymnastics rings. So I'll be showing you some of my favorites here in today's video, starting from the ground up. We start with the basic calf raises. Pretty simple in nature here, of course. Calf raises on machines or free weights, basically calf raises, body weight, since it's pretty much about the same type of movement. Of course, you can progress it with things like closer feet together or when doing it on one single leg. To replicate the leg extension movement, we have the sissy squat, still using primarily the extension of the knee joint to use the quadriceps and focus the tension there. And I know a lot of people say a sissy squat's unhealthy and stuff, but it's a bit of a misnomer. Like any exercise, it's perfectly fine and safe if you know what you're doing. In fact, I use the sissy squat to actually fix my knee problems rather than cause them. There's a video on how to learn more about that in the upper left-hand corner. To emphasize the flexion of the knees, hamstring curls, either on the floor or on a suspension trainer, are fantastic. Also use your entire posterior chain for stability, such as your glutes, your erectors, your lower back, and even your upper back to make sure that everything is connected and working together. Moving up to focusing on your hips. First, you have your hip flexion. This is as simple as standing, lifting your leg as high as you can, and holding for about 5 to 10 seconds. For the lateral hips, you can do side plank with leg lifted. You can do this either pulsing or as an isometric. Fantastic for focusing on your side of the hips, including your gluteus minimus, medius, and even a little bit in the obliques as well. To get to the inside of the thighs, you simply reverse the process, press down on the top leg while doing side plank exercise. Focusing on your glutes, that's a elevated hip extension exercise. This is similar to the hamstring curl, only instead of stabilizing your hip and flexing at your knees, now you're stabilizing your knees and you're flexing at the hips. To simulate ways to focus on the abdominals with body weight, to simulate something like an ab machine, this is a no-brainer. Suspension trainers, hanging leg raises, sit-up variations. Bodyweight training excels for focusing tension into the abdominals. When it comes to trying to focus exercises into the lower back, I'm actually not a big fan of this type of motion, simply because the lower back doesn't really contain much muscle to begin with. Instead, it's more of the muscles that run along the entire length of your spine that we're trying to focus on. So once again, things like bridges, particularly with an emphasis on back extension and flexion to get that spine moving to a large degree, is going to fit the bill to quote unquote work your lower back while involving all of the other muscles that run up and down your spine. Moving up into the chest, one of the best single joint chest exercises you can do are the suspension trainer or gymnastics rings chest flies. This is very adjustable, easy on the shoulders, teaches you stability in your upper back, core, and hips, and brings a lot of intensity directly into your pectoral muscles. On the back side, for the rear fly, we've got the suspension trainer rear fly. This has always been one of my favorite ways to do rear flies. I will take this over machines or free weights any day because it's more stability teaching, a lot more adjustable, and it's a lot easier on the joints at the same time. When it comes to the deltoids, nothing beats the Y-fly. Y-fly covers every head of the deltoid and more in one movement that doesn't put nearly as much stress on the rotator cuff or the neck. When it comes to focusing tension into your arms, lots of different variations that you can use to focus a ton of tension right into your biceps, kind of like a preacher curl or concentration curl. There's bringing it upwards, there's clutch curls. Too many here to mention in a single video, but this will bring a lot of stress directly into your biceps. On the back side of the arm, triceps, don't even get me started. Using suspension trainers or sphinx push-ups, as they're often called, down on the floor are fantastic for your triceps. Great way to bring a lot of tension and resistance directly into the muscle while being a little bit more gentle on the elbows. There's even wrist curl and wrist extension variations that we can do on suspension trainers, just as long as you make sure that you're using a model that has easily rotating handle. You simply lean back a little bit and pull your knuckles towards your face for wrist extensions, and then you can go the other direction and do wrist flexions. And then finally at the very top, of course, we have the neck. I'm a big fan of doing these isometrically. I know a lot of folks get a little nervous about having these moving neck exercises. To simply fix this, don't move. You're extending your body out to increase resistance for a front neck bridge or you have your head on the back of something like a cushion or a weight bench for a rear neck bridge. Every one of these exercises have tons of variations, tons of ways to make them harder with progressions or much easier with regressions. If you want to learn a little bit more, check out my book, Smart Bodyweight Training. The link is down below. It's available on Amazon and Kindle and paperback. And also I've got tons of videos that explore some of these exercises in further depth on the RDP channel. And also I'd love to hear from you. What are some of your favorite bodyweight exercises to focus tension into various muscle groups? Please leave your thoughts and questions down below in the RDP community. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Till then, be fit, live free.